Okay, this is awesome to be back. This is my third year in a row being back, so I don't know, I'm like a regular visitor now. President Higdon got in 2 years ago, and then I got in, and now with Tiff coming in and asking me to come back and speak for her, I thought that was amazing. So I'm very honored to do that for you. I first want to thank the Hall of Fame Committee for providing back-to-back reunions for volleyball. I thought last year was the gold standard, getting inducted and seeing so many of my players, but now I feel like I've hit the jackpot. Being inducted is obviously special, but seeing one of my former players get inducted is really what coaching is all about. It's not about the coaches, it's about the student athletes. And Tiffany certainly deserves this honor and recognition. That said, Tiff, you know I'm going to roast you for a small portion of this speech. Why? Because I can. Tiff had a fantastic relationship with her teammates, which is why they provide the best stories. I won't identify my sources for obvious reasons. What I will say is that for every funny story, there was something equally nice said about how Tiff was and is respected as a teammate and a friend. I recruited Tiff along with Lindsay Kane and Annie Youthy from Wahlert High School in Dubuque, Iowa. They were all a significant part of 4 straight state championship volleyball teams, so they were a hot commodity. As a first-time head coach, I was thrilled to get the package deal of a trio from a storied program that knew how to win. Anyway, I think the most important takeaway from this story is that I did a great recruiting job. I'm pretty confident the fact that I was asking them to leave the cornfields of Iowa for sunny Charleston played no part in their decision. I liked Tiff from the beginning. I'm not saying she was a model kid. In fact, she had an edge to her and was a bit of a rebel. School was a means to play volleyball, which she passionately did. Socializing was priority 1A, and she overachieved in this area. I coached Tiff for 3 years prior to taking the head job at Indiana University, and let me just say, Tiff was a 3-year letter winner in study hall. For a period of time, our offices were in an old bank building on King Street. Tiff's study hall was in the vault in the back. Which was fitting since her textbooks seemed to be locked away so well that she had difficulty accessing them. One time as she was strolling through the vault, a member of the athletics department asked her how school was going and what her favorite class was so far. Tiff's response, death and dying. She loved her favorite class. She had an inquisitive mind. Maybe I should have been worried. Tiff will recall that I was not a big fan of players being late to anything, let alone turning in their class assignments late. I'm told one time Tiff asked a teammate to proofread an email to a professor because, of course, she was late for an assignment. The first line of the email read, and I quote, "Sorrow about my stupidity, but..." Naturally, she meant sorry, but even if she had spelled it correctly, who starts an email to a professor like that? Apparently, Tiffany. I will say the subject she studied the most was volleyball. We had occasional pregame tests, or maybe every time we played, on opponents, and she sought out help from teammates to make sure she was prepared to ace the exam. Right, Rebecca? Not playing was not an option for her, so she crammed for the 15 minutes to regurgitate the information and then promptly forgot all of it. But man, did she ever compete. Tiff had a rigorous pregame warm-up when she spent 30 minutes stretching out her jersey. It was a very intricate process, and that jersey had to have just the right elasticity to be in beast mode. Whether it was a crushed ball or a sky-high tip 30 feet in the air that landed in the deep corner, they were all points and all celebrated with the same vigor. She loved playing this sport. Another story I'd forgotten that one of her teammates reminded me of is the year we made it to the second round of the NCAA tournament. Tiff was filling out her NCAA bracket, and she picked Ohio State to win the entire thing. That was a reasonable prediction, except one thing. The Cougars were still playing in it. Last funny story. Okay. Tiff had a loud voice and a look when she was at the net. She was feared by all of our opponents. As a middle blocker, one of her responsibilities was to call out the hitters in the front row. One match, Tiff called out the hitters like this: 12, 3, and ugly are up. I'm guessing being friends with that player was never to be. All right, you can relax, Tiff. I'm about to shower you with love now. As I thought about this day and Tiffany, I reflected on her journey. Nobody takes the same path in life. Things seldom line up just perfectly the way we want them to. Like so many of us, Tiff has had curves in the road, switchbacks, and at times even found herself on the dirt road with no car, barefoot, walking uphill. That's what makes her successful journey all the more impressive. Tiff was an unselfish player and is definitely an unselfish person. She gives credit to everyone but herself for her success. Her teammates praised her as well, telling me that she was the most selfless player they ever played with. She genuinely just wanted to win, however it got done. Her favorite plays were the ones when the other team's blockers followed her and another teammate got the kill. It wasn't about the individual awards or the flashy play, it was just about winning. They also said that Tiff's face was the one they always looked for after a play. It was always positive, and if it was a great play, it was full of excitement. If it was a bad play, her face was filled with determination. She's a wonderful daughter, sister, friend, and wife, and I was the lucky one that got to coach her for 3 years. I've told you about some of the times when Tiff made me pull my hair out, even made me mad. That's the nature of coaching. But what I realize when I think about my time with Tiff is that she also made me laugh and cry with memories from some of the best days of 25 years of coaching. Tiffany is why I coached. I know how special this award is for her and how important her time at Charleston was to making her the person she is today. Today, Tiff, we celebrate you. We honor all that you've accomplished, and you certainly had a boatload of accomplishments. Named Southern Conference Freshman of the Year in 2004, the first Cougar to be named Sports Imports AVCA National Player of the Week, led the conference in blocks per game. As a sophomore, earned SoCon Tournament Most Valuable Player and First Team All-Conference status. Again, led the conference in blocks and ranked 19th nationally. As a junior, got more awards than I can mention, but one that stands out is she earned a career-high 5 assists against Coastal Carolina on Halloween as a middle blocker. Above all the awards that Tiff had, she will be the first to say that the team's success was the most important part. Whatever it took to win, she would do to help her teammates. And it worked. In the 4 years Tiffany was here, the Cougars were 4-time Southern Conference champions, earning 4 NCAA appearances, including a berth in the second round of the NCAA tournament in 2005. Our overall record was 111-24 and 66-4 in the Southern Conference. It's not a coincidence that both happened simultaneously, the team's success and Tiffany being here for that 4-year period. This type of success is really unprecedented in volleyball, or any other sport for that matter, at the Division I level. And it happened here at the College of Charleston under her watch. As a coach, I can tell you that every time we stepped on the floor, we expected to win. That expectation came from the determined players that put the sweat on the floor. Sarah Gustin, my former assistant, and I were talking the other night. She remembers serving short balls to Tiffany daily and working on blocking footwork until the wee hours. But what she really recalls is Tiff never complaining and just doing the work. She might have complained in private, but she never did in the gym. Tiff thrived in the toughest matches and was a true champion that every teammate wanted to go to war with. Tiff, thank you and congratulations from your old coach and your teammates. We love you and are super proud of you.
Thank you so much, Sherry. It means a lot to me. I already told her I really should have picked somebody a little worse at public speaking to speak before me. First, I want to congratulate Bruce and Steffi. I'm honored to be being inducted with you guys. I'm not sure where you're even at. Congratulations. So I want to first start by saying how grateful I am to be receiving this award. It's an amazing way to wrap up my career. I just finished, this is my first season not playing. My last season, we actually were 0-18. And the last point of my last game ever was me on the outside, which I'm a middle, so I blame my coach, first of all, was me getting blocked minus, like under the net. So this is a much better way to finish my career than that disgusting memory. I stand here in front of all of you today as a representative of every person who helped me achieve my athletic goals throughout my athletic career. This award is not mine alone. it's all of those people, all of those teammates, all of those coaches, my family. It's our award. Volleyball is a team sport, and this is a team award. Sorry. I'm grateful to take this opportunity to be able to thank some of those people that were part of that journey. Growing up, I played lots of sports, basketball, volleyball, did a little karate, and even played the violin, which I thought I was fantastic at. I think my family has something different to say about that. So going into high school, I had no big expectations for volleyball. Basketball was kind of my sport. Volleyball was always a challenge for me, which made it interesting. And so I was surprised when my coach, Tom Keating, moved me up to varsity. And I guess being tall can kind of get you in places sometimes. He quickly took me from 2 left feet to reading setters, running slides, even playing a little defense. Fast forward to 2 state championships later, and I was headed into my junior season. Unfortunately, I was caught drinking underage the only time ever, and I went to a Catholic school, so that meant a 90-day suspension, which meant no volleyball. And instead of Coach Keating saying, see you next year, or yelling, he, now what I look at as an opportunity of a lifetime, offered for me to be part of the team, practice every day, and I couldn't even go to the games. You weren't even allowed to go and watch the games. So I just practiced every day for the next 3 months, trying to make myself better on and off the court and preparing my team for matches. And looking back, had he not done that, I would not be standing here today. I probably would have just given up volleyball and went the basketball route. So I am forever grateful for Tom Keating giving me that opportunity. Soon, it was time to choose a college, and Sherry Dunbar convinced myself, Annie Youthy, and Lindsay Kane, which was dreamy. Imagine going with 2 of your best friends to college together, to come to College of Charleston on an official visit. And like she stated, half of her job was done because we were from the cornfields, as she said, and all we had to do was get on the plane, and I think you knew half your job was over. So we knew right away, before we even left Charleston on our visit, that we were going to be Cougars. I have so many amazing memories over my 4 years at the college. My freshman year, winning our first conference championship and playing against one of the best teams in the country, USC, and having a player, 6'5", Amy Adams, somebody taller than me, was amazing. Sophomore year, finishing 26th in the country, making history for the college, beating North Carolina at North Carolina. It really felt like, when I think about it, I can still feel like we were national champions. It didn't matter that we lost against Purdue. That memory is the best memory I have of my whole entire career. And I still feel like we're national champions. I don't even know who won the national championship. It wasn't Ohio State, I don't think, but no. And I don't think that's true. Even if I didn't pick the College of Charleston, I definitely wouldn't have picked Ohio State. Somebody lied. I also remember 5 a.m. spring practices, having a janitor's closet as a locker room our freshman year. Sherry's pregame test, which is true. I studied harder for those pregame tests than I ever studied for any test in college. Bus rides, study hall hours, and road trips, championships, and friendships. I was blessed to have very talented and amazing coaches in Sherry Dunbar and Jason Kepner, and their assistants, Ashley, Sarah, Jake, and Kaylina. Sherry led our team for 3 years and had a way of pulling the best out of all of her athletes, and especially me. I remember freshman year, I won Freshman of the Year, and I made second team all-conference, and I was pumped. And Sherry called me into her room that night, and one of her personal meetings, and you weren't sure what was going to happen, especially with me. And she explained to me that I got robbed, and that I should have got first team all-conference, and that I should use that tournament to prove it, and that she had complete confidence in me as a player, And that was I played a very important role on the team. And that conversation stuck with me for the rest of my career. And I believed her when she said it. And I played with complete confidence in myself after that. So thank you for that, Sherry. Even though I didn't play lights out that tournament, we won anyway. And I just always remembered her words and never looked back, and only looked across the net and apparently called people ugly. Then Sherry left for bigger and better opportunities, which we all understood. And we were thinking, who's coming next? Jason's already getting nervous over there. And as luck would have it, we got Jason Kepner. And obviously, I was apprehensive, to say the least. And I don't think that we could have gotten any luckier, and anybody could have done it better than you did. You somehow just chameleoned yourself into the team and the program, and you let the seniors keep our identity and lead and trusted us, and I'm so blessed. And I went through a couple sticky situations and kind of just, I feel like I was just breaking you in and testing your faith in your players. But in all honesty, you had my back 110% from day one, like you had known me, like you had coached me forever. And I really, truly appreciate you and you standing by me. It means a lot. And I haven't forgot about my teammates, my sisters, some of the baddest, sickest Cougars to ever we never actually stepped foot on this court. It was said that we would step foot on this court, but it never happened. We all shared the same passion for volleyball, and we all wanted to be in the gym practicing and just to be around each other whenever possible. I think the thing that made us special as a team is that we truly loved and respected each other. And that allowed us to push each other to our limits and get the best out of each other. There was always a healthy competition, and it was kind of like you might be my best friend, but you're going to earn every single point. Got a serious lesson from Sarah Davis. My parents, first practice, my parents sitting in the stands, and Davis is blocking me and blocking me and blocking me with no regrets and no sorries. And I learned quickly, like, she loved me, but she made me better. And that's what we all did for each other, and it was a very special atmosphere. I'm blessed to have some of my teammates here today, Marie, Megan, Wooters, Davis. Thank you for being here. You guys are amazing. It's been 10 and a half years since I've seen them, and it feels like yesterday. They truly are my family, and it means a lot to me that you guys showed up. Thank you. And last, but certainly not least, my family. My oldest sister, Melissa, who was my idol growing up. She played basketball and volleyball, and she played volleyball when they had the bun huggers, yes. And I just basically wanted to do anything she did. Of course, I'm competitive, so I wanted to do it better. And I just always looked up to her and wanted to make her proud, so I hope I did. And my sister Erica, who was like a warm hug on a cold day, always knew what to say to make me feel better. When I was away at college, I knew if I needed something, if I needed to be lifted up, if I had a hard practice, I could call Erica, and she would immediately make me feel better. Thank you for that. I love you. And my brother, who we were 3 years apart, so he was a senior and I was a freshman. He had to drive me to school, and it was a bit dicey growing up. But he was always happy for my successes, unless it was at the dentist when he got a cavity and I didn't, then it was a fight. But the older we get, the closer we've gotten, and I'm blessed to be able to call you one of my best friends now. I love you. Thank you for being here. And last and the most important are my parents. I told my mom today I was having a very hard time. Sorry. Wasn't expecting that. A hard time explaining how much they mean to me. I've been through a lot in my life, and all they have done is love me through it and supported me and helped me reach all my goals and lifted me up when I fell down. And I just hope that I can be like a tenth of the people that you are. And I'm just so grateful for everything you've done for me. And I love you guys so much. So thank you. Okay, well, I just want to thank, I don't know who votes for this award, or I'm just so grateful to stand here and be able to represent all these amazing people. Again, it's not just mine, it's ours. And thank you so much, and go Cougs.